As defined by roll lags, a short crack is anything 6 inches in length or less, while a long crack is anything over 6 inches. Cracks can appear anywhere on a piece of glass and have multiple causes. A stress crack is one that extends from an edge but does not have an impact point. These cracks are caused by stress in the glass due to improper installation, the windshield frame being damaged or altered, or inferior quality of glass. Regardless of the type or cause of the crack, the procedure for repairing them is the same. However, there is a higher risk of the repair failing with stress cracks, as there is no way to determine the extent of damage to the glass where it is hidden by the windshield molding. Inspect the damage, checking the size of the pit and which layer of the glass is cracked. If the crack is in the inner layer or light, a repair is not recommended. To start the process, locate the end of the crack by gently flexing the glass. You'll notice that the crack appears to grow and you can see where the brake actually stops. Be careful not to use too much pressure, which could cause the crack to run. Drill a hole about 1/32 of an inch past where you saw the crack stop. A popular option is to drill about 2/3 through the top layer of glass and use a spring hammer to create a small bullseye at the end of the crack. The bullseye works well to terminate the crack, and the spring hammer probe tip into the drilled hole and lightly tapping the end of the probe. Remember, it does not take a lot of force to create the bullseye. Now apply a light pressure to the glass so that the crack runs into the bullseye you just created. This will keep the crack from spreading after you finish the repair. Just as in chip repair, the recommended temperature range for a crack repair is between 70 and 100 degrees Fahrenheit. An important point to remember is that hot glass is more prone to cracking out than cooler glass, so ideally the glass would be at the lower end of the temperature range. The damage should be completely dry before beginning the repair. If you do see moisture, you can dry it out by using a heat gun. Remember to cool the glass back to within the recommended temperature range before progressing with the repair. Using the tip of your spring hammer or probe, pick any loose glass or other debris from the impact point and brush the area clean. Place the inspection mirror behind the impact point for the best visibility. Attach the bridge assembly to the glass in the same manner as you would if doing a chip repair, placing the bridge at the impact point or drill hole, whichever is lower on the glass. Load the injector with approximately 7 drops of resin and place the injector into a pressure cycle using the same steps you would with the chip repair. You will leave the injector in this pressure cycle until the crack has been filled with resin and cured. Switching to a vacuum cycle will cause air to be drawn into the brake. You will see resin start to fill the crack. When the resin's progress stops, use the resin dropper to apply small amounts of resin directly to the crack just behind where the resin has progressed. The resin will draw into the crack and fill it seamlessly. It's important not to introduce resin ahead of where it has naturally progressed, as this will trap air in the brake. As the crack is filled, cover it with curing tape to keep the resin in and the air out. When the entire crack is filled, protect the bridge and injector from UV light with a thick towel or other barrier. Once the bridge is protected, you can cure the length of the crack using your UV light. If you don't have a tube UV light, you may have to move the light several times to fully cure the entire crack. Once the crack has been cured, finish filling the bullseye you made or impact point just as you would with a standard chip repair. Then, if necessary, repeat the chip repair process at the other end of the crack. It is important not to rush the process to avoid trapping air bubbles in the finished crack. Alternative methods may also allow air bubbles to be trapped within the resin in the crack. Crack expanders and/or thumb pressure, as well as heat, are not recommended unless the basic method is unsuccessful. Remember that cracks will always be visible from certain angles and in certain lighting conditions, even after being successfully filled and cured. Because of the stress on long cracks and the inherent problems in repairing them, The success rate is approximately 25% lower than the success rate of an average windshield repair. Customers should be made aware of these facts before any long crack repair is attempted. For additional information on these topics and more, visit us at www.deltakits.com or call us at 1-800-548-8332.